Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel Swamy Vijay, and this is Swamy Vijay speaking to all. In this video I am going to start another lesson from your main textbook. But before I start the lesson, as usual, let me ask you one very important question. Have you ever seen the most beautiful painting in your life? If you have seen that most beautiful painting other than Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa, comment in the comment section below, because paintings are difficult to understand and beauty in the painting is very difficult to understand. So this lesson focuses on the beauty of the paintings and the idea behind the painting and to understand the philosophy behind the painting. And this lesson is little difficult to understand, but I hope I'll try my level best to make you all understand this lesson without any problem. The name of the lesson which I am going to begin is Landscape of the Soul, written by Nathalie. Let me explain first what is this title. Landscape means a painting which shows nature like rivers, mountains, grasslands, as well as the human beings, and the developments of the human beings are the things which are created by the human beings. That means if you find a river and a mountain and a valley and a grassland with human being using like a motorcycle or a car or a bullock cart, that means what is happening here in this painting or landscape painting, you can see nature as well as human being and his materialistic things. So when a painting picturizes all these things or shows all these things, that is called landscape painting. But what is about soul? See, we don't know what is the structure of the soul, what is the shape of the soul, and what is the size of the soul. But if we try to find out the shape, size like a landscape painting, then we can understand that the soul is something which is untouched, unimaginable. Now in this lesson, we are trying to find out the soul of the paintings and soul of the two different cultures in this lesson, and those two different cultures are Chinese culture, which represents the Asian culture, and the European culture, which represents the Western cultures. These two cultures we are going to compare with the help of two different paintings. Chinese paintings and European paintings speaks and talks about their culture, their tradition, their ideology and their philosophy. In the first story, a wonderful old tale is told about the painter Wang Jui, who lived in the 8th century. His last painting was a landscape commissioned by the Tang Emperor Zhongzong to decorate a palace wall. So this story talks about the Chinese painting. So a very powerful emperor summoned Wang Jui to draw a painting on a palace wall. So Wang Jui came and he drew a painting on the palace wall. So on the day when emperor came, Wang Jui was showing his painting, and emperor was attracted about the different parts of the painting, but Wang Jui asked the emperor to look at a particular place. He made emperor to look at that particular place, and in that place he has drawn one cave, and he told emperor that this cave, there is a spirit is dwelling inside the cave, and when painter clapped, the cave's entrance opened and he entered inside the cave and the cave closed, and within few seconds the entire painting vanished. So this is not some kind of a nonsensical story, it's a stupid story to explain about the Chinese art, but this story speaks about the value and importance of Chinese art and difference between Chinese art and European art. In Chinese art, one painter afraid to draw the eye of a dragon, believing that the dragon would fly away from the planet Earth. Now coming to the next story in this lesson, about a European blacksmith who fell in love with a girl. Her father is a very famous painter. He refused to give his daughter to this blacksmith. So this blacksmith sneaked inside the painter's house and he has drawn a fly on the painter's painting. When the painter saw the fly, he believed that that is a real fly and he tried to wipe out that fly. But when he, to his surprise, that is not actually an original fly, it is the painting drawn by the blacksmith. So the painter was impressed by this blacksmith painting and he made him his apprentice. So this is about the European painting or European culture, and the earlier story talks about the Chinese culture. Now in this story, we have to understand the difference between Chinese culture and the European culture and how these cultures reflects in their paintings also. A classical landscape is not meant to reproduce an actual view as would a Western figurative painting, whereas the European painter wants you to borrow his eyes, look at a particular landscape exactly as he saw it from a specific angle. The Chinese painter does not choose a single viewpoint. His landscape is not a real one and you can enter it from any point, then travel in it. The artist creates a path for your eyes to travel up and down, then back again in a leisurely movement. This is even more true in the case of the horizontal scroll, in which the action of slowly opening one section of the painting, then rolling it up to move on to the others, adds a dimension of time which is unknown in any other form of painting. It also requires the active participation of the viewer, who decides at what place he will travel through the painting, a participation which is physical as well as mental. The Chinese painter does not want to borrow his eyes, he wants you to enter his mind. The landscape is an inner one, a spiritual and conceptual space. So the main difference between Chinese painting and European painting is, in Chinese painting you will get complete liberty and freedom to understand the painting in your own perspective, whereas in European painting your attention will be grabbed by the painter towards a particular part or particular thought which is shown in the painting. So these are the major differences between Chinese painting and European painting. See, painting, art, culture, all those things are a reflection of their ideas, and these ideas are formed based upon a philosophy and an ideology. There are so many famous thinkers in China and so many famous thinkers in Europe. They have molded and they made these people to think in this way. So Chinese people believe in the existence of soul, supernatural things, life after death, soul and all those things. European people are very practical in nature. They believe in acquiring wealth, expanding their empires and all these materialistic things. So their feelings, their ideology, their opinions are reflected in their paintings also. Coming back to the Chinese painting, the Chinese painting expresses a different perspective and the Chinese painter allows you to understand the painting in your own way. So these things are also explained in form of painting in the Chinese painting, and they call it as a shanshui, which means landscape, literally mountain water, which used together represent the word landscape. More than two elements of an image, these represent two complementary poles reflecting the Taoist view of universe. The mountain is yang, reaching vertical towards heaven, stable, warm and dry in the sun, while the water is yan, horizontal and resting on the earth, fluid, moist and cool. So if we compare this Chinese Taoist philosophy or Taoism with our Indian philosophy and Indianism, we believe that human beings has two kinds of energies, male energy and female energy. Whoever can balance the male energy and female energy, they can lead a balanced life, happy life and blissful life. And how to balance these two energies? It is believed that these two energies intersect in between our eyebrows. That means if you do pranayam or meditation, inhale and exhale, we can balance these two energies. So that is what is actually discussed in Taoism. So let us move further. This is also where man finds a fundamental role in that space between heaven and earth. He becomes the conduit of communication between both poles of the universe. His presence is essential, even if it's only suggested, far from being lost or oppressed by the lofty peaks. In Francois Chigan's wonderful expression, the eye of the landscape. From this lesson, Landscape of the Soul, we have to understand that two different paintings represent two different cultures, two different ideologies, two different mindsets. So this lesson compares Chinese work of art and European work of art, taking particularly paintings. Now in the last part of the lesson, we come to know about art brut, getting inside outsider art. When French painter Jean Duffy moted the concept of art brut in the 1940s, the art of the untrained visionary was of minority interest. From its most veiled beginnings, outsider art has gradually become a fastest growing area of interest in contemporary art internationally. This genre is described as the art of those who have no right to be artists, as they have received no formal training yet show talent and artistic insight. Their works are a stimulating contrast to a lot of mainstream offerings. Outsider art or art brut is done by those unskilled painters or unskilled artists. Nathan is one of the most important figures in this kind of art, and he has developed a rock garden in Chandigarh. This is a different form of art which was used by unskilled painters, unskilled artists who never received any kind of formal painting. They can use any kind of thing which are available to them and they can make a wonderful piece of art. They may use boxes, they may use bricks, they may use whichever material available to them, and they do this kind of wonderful art. So in this landscape of the soul painting, we have discussed Chinese art, European art, and the outsider art. It's also called as art brut. Don't get confused with all these different forms of art. This lesson tries to develop artistic sensibility among the students, so don't get confused. This is a very easy lesson to understand. So this is about the summary of the lesson, Landscape of the Soul. And now what you have to do is read the entire story, read the question answers, and write the answers to the questions after reading the entire story. So thanks for watching this video, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel so that you can receive latest updates and information the moment I upload videos on YouTube. And always remember, stay home, stay safe, and stay strong. Take care. Thanks for watching this video. If you have come to the end of this video, I believe that you are interested to watch a few more videos related to the topic. So now you can check this out video or watch this one. Click this video, it will take you into another video.